Alrighty, what is up everybody? It is your boy Farai. Brand new video, but this time a little bit different. I'm going to be basically breaking down this whole setup right here. I'm going to leave the speakers the way they are, but I'm going to be removing all of these racks and everything in this video because I am switching out this good old desk tomorrow. So I'm switching over to a new setup. I've got all the stuff, or all the kind of bits and pieces that I'll be replacing my current setup with. It's a whole mess under here. There's just cables everywhere, and I've wanted to really do it properly for a while now, so I've got the time. Yeah, I'll pretty much film some of it. I'll be taking out some of the gear. This will have to leave for now, as well as the Neve preamp, because I am actually filming, using this microphone right now, so that'll have to leave in. But you can see me unscrew some stuff in the video, as well as I'll just talk to you about some of the stuff I have, some of the stuff that I have coming, as well as some of the new gear that I have. So stick around, hang out, and let's get straight into it. So if you want to see a little sneak peek of what I've got that we're actually going to be replacing this current setup with, you can just check this out. But basically, I've got an SSL console, and what it is really just the bare bones of any modern day solid state logic mixing board. And it's going to be pretty cool. I've also got some SSL E-Series EQs. I've got 8 of them. And yeah, we're going to be switching that out all tomorrow. You'll see how cool it'll be. I've been keeping this a surprise, but it'll be pretty sick. We'll be running Pro Tools, but I will still be doing FL Studio related videos, so don't even worry about it. FL Gang for life. But yeah, let's get straight into breaking down some stuff. Alright, so rack 1, or the left side of the rack, we have 3 pieces of gear right here. The top would be, this is quite a famous YouTuber box right here, which is the SSL Fusion. Maybe I can actually just pull this camera a little bit closer, might as well. Let's see how far we can get without destroying everything. Okay, so gear rack 1, you can see that we have the SSL Fusion. And this is a pretty cool box. I don't really use it for master bus processing as much as a lot of other people seem to be using it on, or for. I just don't feel that this sounds good. Like doing a whole in the box mix and then suddenly coming out of the box to do like a bit of vintage drive, like that's not going to give you that sound that you might be looking for. So I rather use this on stems. I use this on voiceovers. I do a lot of voiceover work. I'll do this, I'll basically use this to really add vibe and character and retone a vocal, basically by turning up the input drive. So this is the input drive knob. I know you can't really see, but it says input drive. I'll use this to gain a bit of kind of saturation by hitting this vintage drive circuit. You've got a little high pass filter right there, and then I'll generally use this EQ to really retone the vocals. So I'll do like plus 6 dB of low at like 30 Hertz on a vocal, just to give it warmth. And then maybe I'll add some brightness if it's not good, and if it's too tinny, if it's been recorded with the cheap mic or just recorded badly, I'll generally use the high shelf the other way around. So I do insane things with this box. It does have a really nice vintage drive circuit. The DS is okay. The threshold is not. You can't really go low enough for me to really do much de-essing, but that's just how I feel about this box. It's pretty cool. Cool stereo image box, or image widener that I will use for like mastering or something. That is pretty sick, and it's got a transformer, so pretty cool. So pretty cool box, right? Cool. After that, here's something new that I have just added, and this will be part of the new setup, but it is a UK Sound, let me just kind of zoom out there. UK Sound 276 by BAE. BAE Audio are a company that got famous for remaking a lot of the classic Neve gear, so that's pretty cool. They have done a 1176 style compressor with 2 compressors in it. So here's the input knob, here's the output knob, attack and release, ratio selection, pretty cool. And it has 2, so you get a nice bang for your buck, about $700 a compressor. I have used it once or twice. It is really nice, but I'll really aggressively be using it with the new setup. I do also have a vintage 1176 on the way, so that's pretty cool. Last but not least, we definitely have the Eventide H3000B, which is a classic piece. I don't know if this is from the 80s or the 70s, but I got this at a kind of guitar shop. I had gone to get my compressor repaired, my Uri LA4 repaired, and there was a dude selling it, and I skimmed them on the price, and I got it for about $600. So that's a really good deal. These are usually going for like $2,000 nowadays, and but they're so amazing. I mean, they've got a whole lot of different presets on them. They've got reverbs, delays, flanges, choruses, you name it, it's on there. It's got a fat transformer on it, which makes it sound even better. So yeah, we're gonna be removing all of this, putting it at the back of the room, and yeah, so let's get into it. Alright, so a trusty tool you do need if you're a sound technician is a pocket knife, not for stabbing people, but for disconnecting gear. All right, when I was an intern, I was usually the only guy who had one of these on them, and these things come in handy. I mean, you know, any tech is going to need something like this for usually unscrewing racks. You know, someone says, hey, who has a tool? You pull this out and you might get a job promotion. So let's get into it. Okay, rack 1 complete. We are done. I'm gonna get rid of the MIDI stuff now, and yeah, let's get into it. So I'm sure a lot of you have probably wondered all these months, you know, what this actually is. And this is really a, let me see if I can get in the camera here real quick. But what this really is a MIDI controller. It does not pass any sort of analog sound through it, so no sound goes to the board. But the reason I got this is because it has what we call a transport controller on it. I don't know if this, yeah, I'm just tripping. Okay, but you know, all it does is really control FL Studio. This is really one of the older pieces of gear. These days, I think Pro Tools have adopted this style or this kind of code of using MIDI, which I think is called the MIDI Control Universal, or UE, which is, what is it called here? Human User Interface method of MIDI controlling. But basically, every little thing gets a MIDI a channel assigned, basically, and it acts just like a MIDI controller essentially, but it does a whole bunch of cool stuff, and it can connect to pretty much any door as long as it has the right software on the door end. So this is really cool. I'm sad that I have to get rid of this to obviously replace it with an analog mixing console, but I have purchased a PreSonus fader port. So it is just a single channel fader port, and it's going to sit right next to my desk right over here somewhere. And I'm still going to be able to use the transport functions, because these save you so much time, not having to worry about like going all the way physically to the start button or whatever. It's pretty annoying. So you know, yeah, anyway, I'm going to pull this out right now. So as you can see right there, it is used. A lot of people ask me, I've seen 1 or 2 people purchase these over the years, probably more actually. I hope I inspired a few people to get this. But basically, man, it just has a MIDI in, MIDI out. So you need a, there's like a little Roland USB cable under the table that you can't see right now. But basically, the Roland cable comes with 2 MIDI ports on it, right? MIDI connector things on it that connect to these MIDI ports, and then they connect via USB into the computer. And basically, you download the Roland software, and it should pretty much sync up to your computer. It should then, you know, pull up in FL Studio and allow you to use it. But there are tutorials out there, so really cool device. Sad to see it go. All right, so next we'll be removing the, man, this mic's getting busted up already. But yeah, next we'll be removing the Antelope Audio Discrete 8. This was the first high-end audio interface I purchased, you know, after getting a little bit of money. And this is really amazing. It's just unfortunate that this was one of the earliest, it has a really early serial number, and it had a few glitches to it, and the outputs blew. So the monitor outputs broke, and then the line outputs broke, and I just couldn't afford to waste any time actually sending it in to get service, so I never got it fixed. But I do use this for my second computer. In the studio there are 2, let me just get in the frame, there are 2 computers set up, one obviously running FL Studio or whatever DAW I'm using, and then another one to receive the audio for YouTube videos. It is kind of like a tape player situation, a tape recorder. You got a tape player, tape recorder, pretty cool. But yeah, this I connect to the, so this is my main computer interface for now. I got a Mo 2 that I'll be replacing this with for the main rig. But this feeds out via ADAT. So for those who don't know what ADAT is, it is basically a digital channel interface thing. I don't know really what the true name for it is, but basically one ADAT port is capable of sending up to 8 channels at 48 kilohertz. So that's pretty cool. I can send 2 outputs, basically left and right signal, out into this one, and then have the other computer record it in a second FL Studio or Pro Tools or whatever. So pretty cool to have both. I'm definitely keeping this in my rack, so you will see it in the new setup. So yeah. So there you go, pretty nifty audio interface, looks really snazzy. I think this company is in, I don't know, maybe Lithuania, I don't know, but yeah, pretty cool company regardless. Even if this broke, I do think that Antelope Audio offer pretty much some of the best sounding analog to digital conversion out there, at a good price point. I mean, you can still pick these up. I highly recommend you pick up the newer ones. The Discrete 4 I have over there, which is the smaller one sitting under that compressor, is pretty much the newer version. So it's called the Synergy Core, and it fixed a lot of the issues that the older ones had. So, you know, get up, man, get some new stuff if you can. But yeah, Motu's good. I've switched over to Motu, but regardless, this is cool and I'm still gonna be keeping it. So yeah, man. Okay, so over here you're probably wondering what this black box is with the cool red button thing on it, but really this is my power supply. So I actually have another one over there giving me a total of 8 power points or access points to feed my gear, because obviously gear needs power, and these Samsung power bytes are what we have in South Africa. So this is pretty much just what I buy. It is powerful enough to power all of the gear that I have, and basically you feed it 1 power input and then it gives you 8 out. So basically 2 equals 16, so you can power 16 boxes. But yeah, this I can't remove either, because I think I power my speakers with this. So it also provides you with clean power, so that's pretty cool, and it comes with cool lamps. So drip. So this will have to be the studio setup for tonight. But yeah, security camera, as well as a ergonomic mouse. I know a lot of people ask me what this is. This is a really cool ergonomic mouse, and it is amazing. I mean, I used to work with the normal mouse and I used to get carpal tunnel pain a lot, but ever since switching over to one of these, life has been amazing. I highly recommend you step your game up and get ergonomic accessories added to your studio setup. I've got a Herman Miller chair, which is amazing. Don't ever buy a gamer chair. Terrible. All right, what a waste of money. Get a second-hand Herman Miller if you live in New York or wherever, LA. They sell them for like $200 and they are amazing. These as well, also like $150, but you know, this will definitely save your trip to the hospital one day for aggressive gaming or whatever. So yeah. Okay, so now looking at the right side of the rack, well, actually here, we'll start here, right? So over here I've got the URI LA4, which is essentially the poor man's version of a Teletronics LA2A. This came out after the LA3A, which is essentially the real solid state version of the LA2A. For those who don't know what that means, basically the LA2A uses a T4 optocell, I think, with tube components, you know, basically giving you that really nice warm sound. But Bill Putman, who was the owner of URI, Universal Audio, basically wanted to make a solid state version, so they made the LA3A, which basically was exactly the same as the LA2A, same optocell, but without the tube stuff added, right? So that was cool, but then they came out with an even cheaper version, which was the LA4A, and it pretty much uses, instead of a optocell, it uses an LED. Basically, it's really interesting. You should definitely go Google it. But basically, this uses an LED to detect how much gain reduction should happen. I've been using this on every single video, every single vocal effect I've done. So I highly recommend that if you want something that is analog and sounds great, use this. I mean, this is amazing. I really like it because it has a threshold. 1176s don't have thresholds. It has an output knob as well, so you can actually use this to somewhat power dynamic mics. But this is amazing. I really like this, and it is a recommendation for me. Here's actually where it should be fitted, so I'm actually going to fit it into the racks when we do the installation. But I've just liked it over here. It kind of reminds me of something like a plane setup or something. But yeah, I've been like out of frame the whole video, but I hope you don't mind that. What was I talking about? These 2 mic pre's over here. The 2 microphone preamplifiers, pretty cool. I'll do a proper studio tour one day. But yeah, 2 really nice clean microphone preamplifiers. I got it at a thrift store or a audio shop, at like the thrift store section of the audio shop, and these are absolutely amazing. If I need any spare analog preamplifiers, there you go. I also have the Neve 1073N, which is just the holy grail of mic preamps. This is a newer version made by AMS Neve, which is the new Neve basically, because Rupert Neve sold the company Neve to Siemens Group. So for all my Germans out there, you know who Siemens are. I think Siemens is German. maybe, but nonetheless, they still make the Neves, and this is really nice. It's high quality, and it has a really nice preamplifier. It is transformer coupled, making it an amazing pre. I'm using it right now. Hopefully this doesn't sound too bad, but yeah, we're gonna remove some stuff. This is a monitor controller as well, for those who don't know. It is the Audient Nero, and it basically allows me to switch from NS10s to Focals to Yamaha MSP7s. So really cool. Those are Avantones, but those aren't currently set up. I don't really like using these grot box speakers, what we call them in the voiceover world. Really annoying. But yeah, that's pretty much all the gear that I have set up. I got some new stuff coming, as I said, and a whole lot of cables to install tomorrow. So I'm gonna try and get rid of those and then call it a video, I guess, because I have to really get behind this desk and then really deal with all the cables. So the real work's gonna start after I cut. Alright, and that is pretty much all I can do for this video. I don't really know what else I could do without really having it be annoying, because that's the one thing, is like it's difficult to like really think and make critical decisions when filming. I know there are a lot of YouTubers who do that, and shouts out to them. But for now, that's pretty much it. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you got to see bits and bobs of gear that I have. I will do a much more kind of critical, in-depth video tomorrow, focusing on all of the cables. I'll actually end the video panning off to that group of cables that I have right there, so you can actually see how much work I got to do tomorrow. But yeah, man, thank you once again for tuning in. Hopefully you had a great day. I'm big chilling in the studio right now, and keep mixing every day, and I'll check you out on the flip side. Peace out.